Please fit, please fit, please fit.
Welcome and thanks for watching. Today we're going to be making a live edge floor level shelf for storing vinyl records. It'll feature sides made of live edge pecan slabs, a color matched cherry base and back, and the whole thing will sit about 3 inches off the ground. Starting off by breaking down the pieces I need from this big pecan slab. I cut out most of the struggle with this slab, but my bandsaw can only take so much, so I channeled out what I could between that and my table saw, and I figured I could just muscle through it with my flush cut saw, so after 45 minutes of that I got it open and was able to clean it up and get going on the cherry base and back. To make sure those two pieces shore up nicely together, I'm going to use this simple jig I made for my table saw. Put those clamps in right where you need them, depending on each piece, and then just cut a nice straight edge along each interior side of those boards. Once these are joined into one board, I'm going to use this as both the backing and the base of the whole shelf. So I'm just marking where I'm going to make that cut, and then I can get to doweling and gluing the rest of this together. Once I had my back and base pieces cut, I had some live dimensions to work off of for those side slab pieces. So I trimmed those to length and kept going. I was moving along at a pretty good clip. I had gotten all my boards cut, half lap joint routed into those live edge pieces just for a little bit more seamless, less bulky construction. And once everything was disassembled, I was going to go ahead and get all the primary pieces of sanding out of the way, and then I realized one major problem was not going to work for final construction. Since that pecan slab top edge was at a slant, once I split it, I had two decently different heights for each of those pieces, and that only got more exaggerated once all the trimming happened from the non-live edge side, so the difference was pretty drastic. So a few minor cuts and trims later, adjustments with that routed lap joint, I was able to get everything at a much more acceptable height and keep going with the project.
Take him out.
Had to get it. Be suspicious.
I'm making this shelf for a friend who's got a beautiful place out in rural Pennsylvania, and him and his wife have really good taste when it comes to the inside of their home. It's like a really nice, mountain cottage interior feel, rustic but not like a hokey cabin feel or anything like that. So I wanted this piece to have that same feeling. The live edge will bring in a lot of the same rustic feels that their other furniture has, but the rest of the lines I wanted to keep clean and modern.
Don't be suspicious.
Once the full glue up was all finished, I wanted to go ahead and get this thing branded before we seal it up. And I figured since it's 108 in the shade right now in Texas, I might as well take advantage.
I ain't looking at the clock, still ballin' like Brian. Bitch, I get, bitch, I get, bitch, I get. Let me meditate, then I celebrate. Tryna get the cake, I don't take a break. Yeah, bitch, wait. Grew up in the 90s, we was watching Ricky Lake. We was eating top ramen, no a TV dinner plate. Made that couple dollars, so I probably get the steak. Go on out at John and Venice, I told Quinn and I'll be late. Ay, I'm so epidemic, I'ma cause an epidemic. Put my feet up in the building, bitch, I'm feeling like a bitch, I get high.
Once the brand cooled down, I was able to do one final pass at high grit sanding before we get to the finish. I went with a water-based finish on this one just because I get hesitant with things like paper labels for vinyls and things like that, of any kind of oil residue on there ending up on any of those records. So I wanted to make sure that this dried to like a very hard coat, and then also there was no possibility for oily residues left on them. All that dabbing I did with the foam brush ended up making a lot of really tiny air bubbles that, especially on that live edge where things can pool together and all the cracks and crevices, ended up drying white with all those micro bubbles. So to get rid of them, I ended up just using one of those sanding wedges along with my file, cleared those up, and then on the final clear coat, I just used a brush to patch up all those sanding spots.